Good news you can use for your life. If you want to get the info that'll help you throughout your life. Yeah.
About it.
Let's do it.
How do you know for sure that your financial advisor has a pulse on what a reverse mortgage is and how they can really help you in your retirement?
Yeah, well, specific to the reverse, I mean, there's a whole question of how do you know if your financial advisor has a pulse on anything is a question to begin with, and that's another show we'll do another time. That's a whole different story. But specific to reverse mortgage, I mean, unfortunately, it hasn't been something that's been well promoted or educated around in the financial space, in the financial advisor community. There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of work in it, doing some great stuff, but it is very much underrepresented in financial planning. So most won't. So I would go on assuming your advisor doesn't know. I've probably spoken to 3,000-4,000 of them in the last few years, and I would say less than a dozen have understood all the mechanics. So there might be some basic questions you can ask is, to how well do you understand these is a nice start, nice open-ended, and see how they respond. And they'll likely be a little vague. To me, the big question I always ask that is probably the most misunderstood is, do you understand how the line of credit growth feature works? Right. And that question is critical because that line of credit growth is one of the most interesting strategic uses of this in a financial planning environment. So a financial advisor that knows how to proactively use one of these will understand line of credit growth.
So can you explain that a little more in detail?
The line of credit growth?
Yes.
I can. So the easiest way I think I can explain it is if you think about having a regular home equity loan or even a credit card. I don't like credit card example because it has bad connotation, but let's go with it. So let's say you have a credit card and you got approved for a $10,000 credit line. Okay. And you charge something up and you owe $1,000 on your credit card. And as we know today, if you want to get more credit, higher credit limit, you have to reapply, or they'll go do a search and see if 10,000, now we'll give you 15,000, right? And so you have to reapply and go through that whole process. Well, the way this works is a little bit different. Let's say you have a 5% interest rate on your credit card. So on that $1,000 that interest is going to accrue at 5%. Well, what's interesting on this type of a loan is that same total interest rate that you'll be charged on whatever you owe is being credited to your full credit limit. So in that example, that if you had a 5% all-in interest rate, now there's some pieces that make up that full rate, but that is going to get credited to that full credit limit. So at the end of that year, that $10,000 credit limit will go up each month until it gets over 5%. So that's the interesting part is the credit facility, the total amount that is lent to you grows every single month and compounds. It's compounding growth every single month, which again gets really fascinating when you start looking at this over time.
Good news you can use for your life. If you want to get the info that'll help you throughout your life.